to be aware as to the importance of this, and you even have questions. So we have people that are going to come every month that's going to address certain problems, certain issues that you may have. So let's not be hesitant to ask questions. We want to be open and interactive, and we don't want to hold you long. So with that being said, I bring up Dr. Richard Whittington, who will tell a little bit about himself and what's the anticipation for tonight's program. Dr. Richard Whittington.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Also in the virtual world. I'm Dr. Richard Whittington. I am a financial coach, so I actually help people with their finances and all that stuff. We talk about investment, we talk about budgeting, we talk about saving money, and we also talk about where to put your money to get the most out of it. Also help with careers, to tell you what kind of education and experience you actually need to get into certain careers. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first speaker, Miss Q Square. Please come to the podium. Give a round of applause. Would you like to hold it?
Good evening, Can y'all hear? Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. A little bit. Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for introducing me and welcoming me here to help you guys with your outreach. I'm very excited to be here, and I look forward to giving out some good information, hopefully that you guys will be able to take away from this and use it in your everyday life. The start of my presentation is going to be the power of having good credit, right? I know I put under here, it says cash can buy a house, but credit can buy the community. You can also say cash can buy a car, but credit can buy the fleet, okay? So definitely keep that in the back of your mind while we go through the presentation, okay? First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Q Square, but everyone calls me Q. So you see it says Q Square there, and I am a personal and business credit consultant, okay? I am the owner of QDNS LLC, and my DBA is Square My Business Academy. So I focus in on helping business owners build their business from tier 1 to tier 4, which we will also touch on later on in the presentation. I am an owner of multiple businesses, so I do have an online boutique. I do a meal prep and catering company, which is my baby. I love it. I do have my natural skincare line that I use, which is like a body oil and a face mask or a face mist as well. And of course, my major, Monday through Friday, I am a business consultant and a loan originator. All right, so I will be also helping business owners, help them with getting their funding for their business as well. Okay, so let's go right into it. So today we will touch on a few things, all right? We will actually talk about the importance of your credit and why you want to have good credit. You will learn how to maintain a healthy score, what you can do to maintain a healthy score. You will leave today knowing why credit matters in today's financial world and how to set your credit up for funding. We will touch on number 1, borrowing power, good versus bad credit, business credit, funding options, and using OPM. OPM stands for other people's money. How can we not use our own money to make more money? All right? Good versus bad credit. So anyone here can tell me what they have purchased using their credit? Car. Anything else?
House.
New mortgage. Okay. And it worked out, right? Okay. Who here can tell me what they would rather spend cash on versus using their credit?
Lifestyle.
Yes, and something quick,
Fuel.
Quick Mart or something, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're making a big purchase, you want to use your credit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good. And can someone here define in their own words the difference between good credit and bad credit? I'll just take one volunteer. Okay.
You want a number value or qualitative?
Just give me a little brief little definition, like details. What do you, in your
So
opinion?
bad credit is usually between 500 and 600, and you have a lot of dings against your credit based upon either lack of payment, late payment, overutilization of your overall credit amount,
Right.
delinquents, foreclosure, what is it, seizure of assets. That, yeah.
Okay. And then good credit. What?
Good-
How do you
good-
define good credit?
So good credit is around 700 and up. Excellent credit is like 8 to 850. But good, you have low utilization of your overall credit amount that's been allocated to you. You have a large number of accounts that are old.
Right.
Very few new credit applications, meaning I didn't apply for a car to get a car loan and they didn't dig my credit. I didn't apply for a mortgage and they couldn't dig my credit, stuff like that.
Full detail. I like it. I like it. I like it. Anyone else want to put their input in on what is good credit versus bad credit?
So good credit basically guarantees, or it's an index that shows that you're likely to pay back if you borrow. Bad credit is the exact opposite.
Right, absolutely. So both are 100% correct. When it comes to good credit, I'm going to just tell you, in my terms, good credit would definitely be, hey, you have structured your credit file. My apologies.
I'm sorry, I wanted to say this too, it just brought to my attention
Okay,
as well.
no problem.
That with the good credit, as Mr. Myers indicated, it's a guarantee, so you have established trust
Absolutely.
with, that company
Absolutely.
or whoever, that you are gonna make payments on a timely fashion.
Absolutely.
So that's the only point I just wanted to add.
Absolutely. That's kind of small, but I apologize for that. Oh, you can? Okay. All right, so you are 100% correct. So yes, good credit would definitely be where you have built a relationship, you actually have your payments are on time, everything is structured the right way, and your scoring is between like a 720 up to a 850. And yes, the 850 does exist. Bad credit would be, of course, you may possibly have some type of late payments. Your payment history is not looking too well. You do have multiple dings like derogatories or new public records, like such as child support or a new bankruptcy, things like that. That may bring your score down as well. I will say late payments can really bring you all the way down to a 300. 350. Multiple late payments can do you dirty. So stay on top of that. So my definition I put up here is credit is the ability to borrow money or access goods, services with the agreement to pay later, often with interest. Importance of actually having good credit would be it enables you to purchase beyond current means, as you guys touched on. It establishes financial trustworthiness. It impacts interest rates and loan approvals. It affects job prospects and housing options and provides a financial safety net. I want to touch on number 4, where it says affects job prospects and housing options. That is one important thing that most people do not understand about keeping your credit up to par, okay? When you go and you apply for a job, and it could be a career job, a job that you really wanted, when it's time for them to evaluate you as an applicant or even do a background check, they're going to pull your credit file. You may not see a hard inquiry or a hard ding on your actual file, but what they do is they do what they call a soft pull, and they pull your entire file, which could be 20 to 30 pages long, and they review it. They want to know where are you in your life and will it affect you becoming an employee to this particular company. So when most people say, you know what, I am fully set, I've had experience for the last 10 years, and I put in an application and I went through 2 or 3 interviews and they still didn't give me the job. It's a possibility that your credit was one of those reasons why, okay? So keeping your credit in good standing, even if it's not the best score possible, keep it in good standing will definitely push you through to getting that dream job or the dream career that you've been seeking, okay? Housing options, of course, when you're going in to apply for a home, that is definitely going to be one of the key factors. Your debt to income ratio, what do you actually have listed that could potentially hold you back from paying your mortgage. They will definitely take you through the ringer when it's time to purchase a home. So keep your credit in good standing and clear so that you can, of course, get that dream career that you want and, of course, get that house that you want, all right, your dream home. All right, key factors that really affect your credit score, all right? Number one, payment history. Payment history allows for 35% of your overall credit score. That is a big deal. That means one late payment can take you from a 700 down to a 550. All that hard work, one late payment has ruined your score. It took you from good credit, good score, down to a bad score, all right, or considered a bad score in their eyes, right? Number two, credit utilization, which is already touched on as well. That actually holds 30% of your overall credit score. Utilization is, for example, you have a Capital One credit card, $1,000 limit, all right? And you decide you want to go and utilize it. Well, that $1,000 limit, you don't want to use more than $300 from that, which is 30%. You want to really be below 30%, but we're going to say you don't want to use more than $300. If you do, that could be a ding on your actual score as well. You can also be at a 700 score and come down 40 to 50 points because you're over 30%. It's very, very important, okay? Number one and two, lock in on those two. Number three, length of credit history. Okay, you have accounts, you have student loans, you have a mortgage, you have a car. How long have you had these accounts? Are they new? If they're new, it won't have such of a good effect on your actual score, but it won't have a bad effect either. But the longer you've had them and the longer you've been paying them, it holds 15% of your overall credit score. Number four, types of credit used. Types, meaning what type of accounts do you have? You can't just have a car payment and not have other revolving accounts. You can't have only revolving accounts and not have like an open-ended account, like a loan or a car payment or a mortgage or anything to that nature. Or you may have a furniture bill. You want to have a good combination of different accounts listed on your file. Do not believe the myths where they say, don't have too many accounts, don't be too much in debt. It's going to mess up everything for you. The less you have, the more they scrutinize you. The less you have, the more they want to give you a higher interest rate or they want to deny you altogether, okay? So have a good combination. Don't overindulge, but definitely have a good combination of accounts on there, and that is going to hold 10% of your overall score. And then number five, new credit inquiries. Before you go and apply for anything that you know is going to fully pull your credit and give you a hard inquiry, make sure you know the details on, will I get approved? Will I get approved? Don't take any chances, because if you can walk into a dealership and you don't come in with your own financing, you should, but if you don't, they're going to say, let's go find the car you're looking for. You're going to find the car you're looking for. Okay, sit down, let's do an application. And you do an application. And the first thing I'm going to do with application is put it in the system and run you through 30 different lenders. And those 30 different lenders are going to give you all a hard inquiry. So you went in there with a 600, you leave it out of there with 30 inquiries, dropping you down to probably a 550, or if not, below. Okay, so keep in mind that you want to go and apply for something and you want to make sure that you're going to get approved, or at least close enough to being approved before you go and do that. The more inquiries you have, the lower your score will be. And believe me, every other lender and creditor, they look at that. They want to know, who are you applying to and how many do you have, okay? They will ding you for that, and they will deny you for having too many inquiries. You're going to have at least no more than 3 to 4 inquiries on each credit bureau, okay? Only 3 or 4. Anything over that could possibly get you a denial. Okay, doesn't matter what you're applying for. Number 6, credit age, which is kind of similar as length of credit history. Basically, how old are your accounts? Is it 6 months old, 2 years old, 5 or 7 years old, 15 years old? How long have you had the account? And let's also look at how long have you been paying on that particular account as well. So if you have any account that you have open, I don't care if it's an account you finally paid off or you're getting close to paying off, you want to keep it and let it last as long as possible. Some people say, well, I want my student loans removed. But you've had your student loans sitting there for 15 years. That's the credit age right there you want to keep on there. If it's not in bad standing, keep it on there. Let it stay. Pay on it if you want to, or let it linger up if you want to. It's not, it doesn't really matter. Long as it's derogatory, not in a bad standing, the longer you've had it, the better it's going to be sitting on your report, okay? And then number 7, public records. Most people, I'm going to say most, there aren't many people that have to deal with public records. That could be a bankruptcy, a child support, a summons, a garnishment, or a lien. But it does have an effect if it's showing on your report, especially if it's recent or especially if you are behind. I have a good example of this. I do a lot of referrals over to one of my affiliates for mortgages. I'm not licensed, so I can't originate mortgages just yet, but I will be. But this particular client of mine, he wants to refinance from a variable rate. He wants to be in a fixed rate again. And he just got out of bankruptcy last year. So he was in bankruptcy, Chapter 13, for 5 years. And 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, he had a late payment on a Belk credit card. The lender that he wants to go with, that was giving him the best fixed rate and also allowing him to cash out on his home as well, on some equity on his home as well, they would not move forward. They would not move forward. And the reason why they wouldn't move forward is because of that late payment, that one late payment while he was in bankruptcy almost 2 years ago. You would think they would let it slide. The bankruptcy was not the problem. It was the late payment while in bankruptcy. And that held him back. Now, don't get me wrong, it can be fixed, but he can't get his immediate approval today. Well, it was 2 days ago. So keep that in mind when you actually have any public records on your report. Stay locked in with it. And if you can get it removed, get it removed. It will hold you back as well, okay?
What if you refinance the bankruptcy? So as you indicated, this person was in a late payment after the bankruptcy. So he's continuously paying the bankruptcy and he has opened up the credit card and it's now delinquent as you indicated. Can he go and have the bankruptcy, that delinquent card added to the bankruptcy?
They can do a modification on your bankruptcy. They can.
But will it start it over? The terms of the bankruptcy, do you think it was started
He
all the
will
way
probably
over?
have to file what we call, it'll be a second. It'll be a whole nother bankruptcy he'll be reporting as well. So now it will show 2 bankruptcies on his file. So that would be 2 that you have to focus on as well. So yes, that is correct. But like I said before, that late payment held him back and he was a little discouraged, but I told him, don't worry about it. We'll work on a late payment. But just keep in mind with your credit file, public records. If you can alleviate that, perfect. If you can't, it will have an effect on your actual overall score, okay? All right, so how to maintain good credit. And this is just in my experience and what I've seen so far over the last, 7 years I've been working with personal business credit. Pay your bills on time. We already said that, late payments, payment history, 35% of your score. Keep credit card balances low. That 30% I was telling you about. I would say do it below that, but still keep it as low as possible. Avoid running your credit. No, not too many hard inquiries. That'll be perfect. Regularly check your credit report. It doesn't matter if you feel your score is low and there's nothing you can do about it right now, or if you have a excellent score, you can get approved for whatever. Always check on your file. If it's not daily, do it weekly, or set up notifications with your credit card company. If you have a credit card with Capital One or maybe Federal, let them send you notifications keeping you up to date. If anything, I know that we feel like the reporting agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax should be on their P's and Q's, but they make mistakes. They put in the wrong information all the time, and it's affecting you and your life and what you're able to do with, in your life with your credit, all because of a simple mistake. Keep your eye on your credit as much as possible. It's very, very important. And use your credit responsibly. Don't go out here and get 12 credit cards. Let's maximize. Let's go to Bora Bora, get the food on the water in the pool, the infinity pool, and just splurge and buying your Louboutin bags and your Louboutin shoes. Okay, you can do all that, but make sure that you're able to take care of paying that prior to it reporting to your credit report. And I'll discuss that later too, how you can do that. One of my critics do not only focus on the credit score, but focus on the quality of the credit report. What I mean by that is the score is one thing. The file is everything. You can have a 700 plus score and still not be approved because the lenders and the creditors will take a look at what is on your file. And if you don't check off those boxes for them, they will still tell you no. Okay? So if you want to get a guaranteed yes, make sure you focus on not only the score, but the quality of what is on your report. The quality will give you a score anyway, automatically. Okay? I want to share my interesting experience with using my credit. So I'll tell you guys a very interesting story, but I want someone in the audience to tell me when they made a purchase, not when, but tell me about your purchase and give me the details behind it so that maybe someone who's actually listening could now think about what they should do next with what they want to do moving forward. Somebody that's made a purchase. And you know what, right here, you just purchased a home. Tell us briefly about your experience and one good thing and one, it was hectic. Okay, tell us about that hectic situation.
Okay, so my husband and I got approved with a loan for USDA, and I wanted to get the house, I guess just with my credit score, but my income did not approve me to get the house that we got now. So my income only approved me for right around $68,000, but we bought a house that was like $100,000. So my goal was to get the house that we have now myself, and then maybe like 2 years later, I guess assist him in going to look at a house with his credit score, so we kind of we're trying to get some rental income going on. So we invested in some properties and stuff, but it did not work out as planned. So I needed his income, and he needed my credit score to end up buying this house. So I guess you could say I benefited from his income, and he benefited from my credit score. But I had already been working on his credit score all along. I'm pretty sure he'll mind me sharing, but he was like in the low 500s. And when the USDA, I guess it's the mortgage company called Yield or Guide Mortgage out of Auburn, when they checked my credit score was like a 670, and my husband's like a 785. But mine was like, it's usually in the 800s. I'm trying to figure out how that happened, but some student loans that I had, let's say missed a few pages on, caused my score to drop. So, but we still ended up getting the house.
Okay, so you still got your house, right? But it took a little bit of things to maneuver in order to do so. So you did end up using his income and your credit. Is that correct? And it came together, okay. And so, but it all worked out under the same type of loan, the USDA. Okay, sounds good. Anyone else? Somebody made a purchase, I know. A car? Did you sit in the dealership for 5 hours for a car? Anybody? Okay. Tell me about it, real briefly. Anyone on the Zoom want to share an experience? Well, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to talk about my experience, all right? And I have more than one experience. Let's start there. So, but this is one that sticks with me because of how stick it to the man, how I stuck it to the man. So in 2018, I was working for State Farm before I decided, no, not 2018. I was working at that time, but I would say it was 2016 when the car was purchased. So in 2016, I was working for State Farm, and I actually needed a vehicle. Let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. See the full rundown. I had a car that I, stopped paying on, and it got repossessed. So I went without a car for a few months. I had a ride to work. It was no problem. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get me a car. Let me get my money together. I'm going to get me a down payment. I'm going to go get me a car. So my credit score wasn't too good at that time. So I did go to a dealership right in Birmingham, and I went and purchased me a Dodge Avenger. Okay, Dodge Avenger. I put down, $2,500, and off the lot I went, right? And I said, you know what? They wanted to give me a crazy, interest, which was very high. It was 18% on a $15,000 vehicle, right? 18%. Now I've known people who have much higher than that, right? Look, no problem. I said, you know what? I'm going to fix my credit in the next 6 months. And I did. So I went ahead and I locked in. I took care of a few things, removed some derogatories and all that stuff. And even that repossession we just talked about, that got gone too, off my credit. And I got my credit score up to about a 675, 680. So I'm like, okay, good. I can do something with this. So, and I also added some few things on there too to kind of help me out, build it up a little bit. So I said, okay, I don't want this car. I didn't want it in the first place, so I'm going to go back to another dealership and I'm going to get the car that I want. Now, at State Farm at the time, we had an actual credit union, and I was able to apply at my desk on the computer for funding for a refinance. I wanted to refinance the car and get the car that I wanted. I wanted a Dodge Challenger. 2015 Dodge Challenger is what I wanted, and I was going to get it. Okay, so I went in and applied, and they didn't respond to me immediately, which was common. It's a small credit union. And I said, you know what? Forget about it. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to go out here to the dealership. I'm going to test drive the one I want. I want a white one. I'm going to test drive a white Challenger, Dodge Challenger, and I'm going to get the specs that I need to find out, how much it is, and head it over to the credit union. Well, I did that. And my salesperson, very nice woman, her name was Christy, she tried her best to get me into a different car. She saw the price tag, she looked at me, I had a cute little book bag and some jeans and like a little turtleneck, and she just knew I was not going to be able to get that Dodge Challenger. But she didn't say anything, but I could tell. So she did tell me, okay, how do you like a Chrysler 200 or a Chrysler 300? No, Christy, I want the Dodge Challenger. I'm going to get this Dodge Challenger. I'll be back. Okay, no problem. Well, I'll text you tomorrow and see how things goes. Okay, no problem. So she texted me that night when I left and the next morning, and she was like, hey, I have this Chrysler 300 here for you. It's or 200, and we have 4 different colors, and it's brand new, and all you need down is $1,000. I responded, no, Christy, I want the Dodge Challenger, a 2015 Dodge Challenger. So the next day, the credit union got back with me, and they approved me for more than what the Dodge Challenger I wanted was for. And I said, okay, no problem. So I texted her. I said, hey, I get up at 6 o'clock. Could you please have my car washed and clean and ready to drive off the lot? And I didn't say it in that manner. I was very, nice and professional. But she was just like, oh, okay. So we have financing? Yes, we do. Okay, so is there a down payment in it? No, there's not. It's not. I went to the credit union on my lunch, got the check that I needed to take it back to the dealership that night after work to get my car, and I was ready to go. When I walked through the door, you could tell they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. They waited for me to come. They were closing up, very soon. But the car was ready to go. And she said, well, what do you have? I said, well, I don't have a down payment, but I do have the check from the credit union, to take care of everything that's, for taking care of it. I went from a Dodge Avenger, red Dodge Avenger, 18%, down to purchase a Dodge Challenger for $34,000 at 1.99%. Yes. I drove off the lot in 45 minutes with it was not a white one though, y'all. It was a red one. I went from red to red. But a red 2015 Dodge Challenger, brand new, only had 5 miles on it. And I did that in 6 months. Set your mind on what you want Make sure you look good on paper, i.e. your credit, and you can get whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You don't need 2-3 years. All you need is a plan and to tackle it. Please believe they walked by me sitting there waiting for the finance manager to come out to do the paperwork, and was wondering, because they knew who I was financed through before and who I'm with now. They want to know, how did I go from an 18 to a 1.99? I had a gentleman ask me, God must be on your side. He's always on my side. And he was. And I actually, I love that car, but I ended up trading it in for the car I have now. But just keep that in mind. That is my interesting story about my credit, okay? All right. Well, I know if you don't have an interesting experience like I have, I know that there are some goals that you guys may have. If you don't mind, I know you already reached one of your goals. You got into the home that you want. Your next goal is for a rental property, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What about you here? What's one of your upcoming goals with your credit? Purchases, anything that you want to do with it in the next, it could be next year or two. Okay.
I want to buy a G-Wagon.
Okay. And you can.
Given the time, in the next 2 years, so probably buy it.
2-3 years. Okay.
I'm trying to like work on my credit because my credit was like perfect for a long time. So I had to borrow some money, and one thing happened. I recently had lost an account. It's like Best Buy. I had to use that card. I don't typically use credit cards unless I have to. So the credit was closed. It really affected my credit
Right.
real bad, even though I try to keep my spending under 35%, like you say, and I've done a pretty good job for a while. Now it's like I'm like 6, 7 or something. I'm
Okay.
20%. So
But it can be fixed.
I'm curious to see what you did in addition to aside paying, because I don't have any payment issue.
You want the secret, don't you? You want the secret. You want the juice. You want the juice.
I'm talking about you, so of course I want to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you want to use that. You focusing solely on either you want to do personal or business credit. Personal. Okay, sounds good. You can definitely put it in your business name if you have a business. I don't care if
I
you.
know about that. I'm working on that as well.
Perfect. Anybody else? Future purchases? Anything you are looking forward to using your credit for, or you may want some help on to do with your credit in the future? No? All right. All right, so we're going to touch on the type of credit reporting agency. CRAs are credit reporting agencies. They call themselves bureaus, but really in reality it's a reporting agency. So I know we know about the main three, which are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. LexisNexis is the one that is starting to kind of get a little wind, but most people did not know LexisNexis, actually existed up until recently. Okay, Innovis is another reporting agency that holds a lot of your information, and they are the ones who feed it to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. We have SageStream, and of course many more. But I want to let you guys know, though we know about the major three, there are over 100 credit reporting agencies. So believe me, these reporting agencies are selling this information to report on your file. It doesn't matter what you're doing. That includes you getting a parking ticket. That includes you getting a speeding ticket or anything like that. Believe me, somewhere on your credit file, not the report, your credit file, it says that, all right? LexisNexis is under here as number 2 because that is one of the most important files that you have. They know if your mama put your name in the light bill back when you was 13 years old, it's on your credit file, okay? They know if you utilize something very simple. If your name, your license, and your social was used, they know about it, okay? That report could be as long as 50 to 60 pages. People do not know they should check on their LexisNexis credit file. You'd be surprised how many inaccuracies that are leaving LexisNexis and going to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion that is messing with your score. That includes a misspell of your name, a phone number you've had 10 years ago, an address you haven't lived at since you was a kid. All of that can affect your credit score. All right, so definitely zone in on LexisNexis when it's time for you to know what's really going on with your file. Oh, and also when they do background checks and they're screening you for your dream career, your dream job, LexisNexis is it right there. That's where they go. All right, and you can request that report. It is free, no charge. They do send you a special pen in the mail, but it's worth the wait for you to get your real file. Okay, they sell that information to those top 3, and that's how you get your score. All right, types of credit: revolving credit, credit cards.
You got a question?
For LexisNexis, you actually just go to the LexisNexis.com website, and it actually tells you, do you want to check your report, and it will take you through the process or the steps to get it pulled. Now, they will not automatically, like Experian does, pull it right up. They will send you a code in the mail, and that code is used when you go back on the website to pull up your report. And you can download it from that point to your phone, to your computer, or you can print it. Now, make sure your printer is ready, because you need a lot of people for that report. I promise you do.
For LexisNexis?
For LexisNexis. You can also get your credit report for free weekly. You can pull all 3 weekly on annualcreditreport.com. No charge. The full file. Now, it won't show the full LexisNexis file, but it will show what you would normally see on as far as your name, listings, your addresses going all the way back, and of course your previous jobs, and then of course your other accounts you may have listed as well. All of that will be listed on there also on your 3 major credit reporting. Go right ahead.
Yes, I was wondering, if you have an account, I know I was looking at something that said your account alert is about to close. It said alert, your account is about to be closed. Pay this payment in order to prevent the account from closing. If the account was brought back up to date, would that put you in good graces?
Well,
Or the card, it's a credit card, I'll say that.
credit card. Okay,
Yes.
so if account is about to close due to non-payment, that means there must be multiple payments not being paid. That means that there are late payments, and those late payments are going to affect, even if you bring it back up to current. You want to still be current regardless.
Yes.
And you can always work on trying to get those late payments alleviated, or kind of get them removed, or like a goodwill type of thing. You can do that, but you don't want it to close and go into collections. Now, I'll say this: you want to go to collect. If it's too late, you can afford it, you can let it go to collections and let it go ahead and close down, and then get the whole account removed and be done with it.
But that'll take some time as well, correct, if you let it just close down?
Yes, it can, depending on. Make a plan, and you will accomplish it. I promise you that. Credit cards. A lot of people that I talk with, they're afraid of credit cards. They do not want, first of all, they don't want to apply for one. Second of all, they don't want to use it. I.e., the gentleman here in the back, he said, hey, I use it, but I don't use it at the same time, to where it may close down, because it's been like inactive for a while. But I will say, at least having them show in black and white on your report will alleviate the part that they're missing when they look at your file to see they want to approve you. They're looking for revolving accounts. And if you don't have any, that could be an automatic deny. They want to know who, other than them, is willing to provide credit to you. And if there's no one, then they won't either. It's kind of like, it's who you know, not what you know, but who you know, right? Installment credit, loans, installment loans, auto, or mortgage. Now, not everyone goes out here and seeks to get a car payment, but you can find most people may possibly have a car payment. That will alleviate that section on their credit score for installment credit. Or it could just be something brief. You can just say, hey, I'm going to do a quick little pledge from my neighbor federal to kind of get my score boosted so I can get approved for a home or a business loan, or just something I want to do for renovations for my home. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You want to have something either paid off or currently paying on to alleviate that particular section of your credit score. All right. We don't want you to be in debt, but there has to be the reason for the madness. You have to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. If you plan on not ever doing anything, then of course this wouldn't matter to you. But if you know going forward you do have something you want to do in the next year or 3 years or 5 years or 6 months from now, definitely work on having that combination, okay? And then open credit, utility bills, cell phone bills. Now, I didn't know back in 2015 when I was trying to get that car, that Challenger, that Dodge Challenger I have, right? But they have companies now that actually will allow you to report if you're renting. You don't own a home, you're renting. They will report 24 months of your actual payments onto your credit report to help give you that boost. You actually have a company as well that will report, hey, if I've been paying my cell phone bill, my gas and water and light bill, I'm not getting credit for that, and I pay them like clockwork for the last 5 years. You know, how can I get credit for that? There are companies out there that will report that for you to help you get a boost. So even if you don't get credit cards and things like that, which I think you should at least have 1 or 2, but if you don't, you still have ways to build up your credit. Not having negative does not make you have good credit, but having positive counts does. Okay? How do I that bottom part right there? You see this at the bottom? I think it's the bottom part. I think it's the bottom part. See how it's cut off? How do that?
There's no way to
No one?
expand it.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. I just saw people at the bottom. I'm going to minimize them down here.
Yeah, you can drag that off, but the screen is not being cut off.
Okay. Can I remove, can I make it, just move all that up there?
Yeah, you can move.
I'll do that. Sorry, guys. You know, technical difficulties.
No problem. Very interesting.
Let me slide it back. You say you want to move this way?
Mm-hmm. On my side. You ever on my side? Make this something that we do. No?
This is
That's it? That's it? That's it? Okay.
that's about
Just
as
wanna
big
make
as
sure.
it.
All right, no problem. Well, I had the, you know, I know you guys asked about the whole, how you can pull your credit report. At the very bottom, I showed that you can actually get your free credit report weekly right there at annualcreditreport.com. You can't see it. So if you need to repeat that, I will definitely repeat that for you, okay? Pull that credit report, look it over. All right, so this is my little, you know, I'm not a comedian, okay? I'm not a comedian, but, you know, I strive to be a little funny from time to time. So, you know, as we all know what Cat Williams have going on these days, but like you said, right here at the bottom it says, look at Cat Williams at a 490 credit score, but look at Cat Williams at a 710 credit score. You know, his hair slicked back, he got on his suit, he looking good. Well, you want to be looking good and feeling good too with that good credit, right? Question: why did the credit card start a band? A wild guess is good. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Why did the credit card start a band?
I don't know. Why did it?
Because it was in good standing and it got a record deal.
Oh. It was in good standing, but it had a record.
Yeah, record.
Right. And why did the credit card go to jail? A gas, just a little sip of gas, you know. That actually is very close. It's very, very close. Very, very close. All right. Now we're moving on to briefly touching on business credit. Very, very brief. The reasons you will want to build business. Well, first of all, anyone here own a business? I do. Okay. Type of business, type, industry.
It's like kind of like a consulting business.
Consulting. Okay, consulting. And photographer. And media network. Anyone else? Anyone interested in possibly starting a business? Thought about it? Okay. Industry?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to perfect my sweet potato pies. So I like to do pastries.
Oh my
That's why I
goodness.
was looking at cottage food law.
Okay.
But I would really love to have my own small business.
Bakery?
Yes.
A bakery? Okay,
Bakery.
awesome. Awesome. That's a good industry.
Jewelry accessories.
Okay. Are you selling jewelry now, or you want to?
That's my interest.
You want to design the jewelry, or you just want to sell already ready-made? Half and half.
Yeah.
Half and half. Okay. It wasn't you? Okay. Anyone else? No? All right. Okay. Well, reasons to build business credit. Number one would be separation of personal and business finances. So you do personal things, you have personal credit, and you work with it in that manner. When it comes to business, you don't want to have to use your personal credit to elevate, expand, or even start your business in the first place. You really want to be able to have business credits to kind of float you over to take care of that, right? Number two, access to funding. You can go to any lender and you can ask for money. They're going to ask you 30 questions about this money that you want to get funding for. But you can go to them with a business that you may have already been making money, just putting money into your account, and they're more willing to give you what you're asking for solely based upon the fact that your business is formatted. So anything you ever wanted to do, work on making sure your business credit is together to structure and get your business off the ground, or if it's already off the ground, to get to expand. Okay? Number three, vendor relationships. Having business credit, having a business. Vendors are more willing to front you supplies, equipment, inventory, and allow for you to pay them in 30 to 60 to 90 days, solely because you have built your business credit up and or you also own a formatted business. Okay? You go to them personally, hey, my name is Q Squared, and I just want to know if you don't mind letting me use, your generator.
And it could be for promotion.
Absolutely.
For their business.
Absolutely. A lot of these vendors now, they've been in business for quite some time, and they have many different industries coming through them before that. So they have set rules on who they will and will not allow that net account to go through. Number four, business growth. Expanding. You want to make sure that you you don't have to go into your own pocket, your own 401k, your own pension, your own savings, when all you had to do was work on your business credit, and you could do it all already. Okay? You can expand, go wherever you need to go. And then risk management. You can really maneuver with business credit than you could with the personal credit. Because if anything goes wrong with the business, it only affects the business. It does not affect your livelihood personally, nor does it bring your own personal score down. So if all else fails, the business needs to regroup. The personal credit is still on top. Okay? A business credit consists of 4 tiers. The scoring ranges from 0 to 100. So like on personal, you can range from a 350 to an 850. As low as a 350, as high as an 850. But on business, you can range from a 0 to 100. It's a lot easier to get from a 0 to 100 than it is to get from 350 to 850. Do y'all not agree?
Agree.
You can get from you could be a 0 today in business credit and be at a 100 score in 4 months. All you have to do is structure it the right way. That's why I love business credit, because you can go from not be able to do much today and 3 to 4 months from now, able to hit the ground running with your business. All right? This is a business breakdown. I'm going to briefly break down each tier. All right? So in tier 1, that's considered a 0. Okay, zero to a 30, right, out of 100. And that is where you're able to only get certain type of accounts. We call those net 30s, i.e. an account where they do front you some product, you pay them back in 30 days, right? And then you do all over again, and you can do multiple of those during that particular time. So that consists of secure business credit cards, bad credit business loans with higher fees, micro loans, alternative financing solutions. Now, micro loans is one of the products I offer in my everyday work. A micro loan is where you have one of the highest interests you can ever have in business, but they'll give you the money. They will literally give you the money. It's just that paying it back is going to be not hard because you're in business, you're making money, but it's going to definitely be where you're going to see they getting their money back in the end, high interest. But for anyone who is just needing a little float for now to get them to more money, microloan will be an option. Okay. Tier 2, fair credit. That can range from about a 35 up to about, I'll say a 60. All right, out of 100. It has the basic business credit cards, short-term loans, merchant cash advances, business lines of credit with higher rates. That's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you're just going from tier 1 and you're going to tier 2. You're just the same thing, but you're able to get better terms than tier 1 could, right? And tier 3, good credit. So that's going to be 65 up to about an 85, right? Accounts you can actually get this time is going to be more like the store card. You can get more like your fuel cards where you can go and put fuel in your box truck or your 18-wheeler and pay them back in 30 days, 60 days, or however you have it worked out. You can go and get a credit card with what we call like a Sam's Club MasterCard. You can get a card with American Express, and you can use it. It'll be in the business name. You can use it towards your business expenses, or you can use it towards whatever you want to do extra for the business as well. And then tier 4. Tier 4 to me, in my mind, tier 4 is something more close to where you're getting the funding. Tier 4, it means that you have done all 3 tiers. Everything looks good on the credit file. You have built it up the way you want to have how it's supposed to look, and now you can go to the bank, the credit union, whomever, online lender, and get that $50,000, get that $80,000. It all depends on where you're going to go with everything. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, you may have to be a signer on your business loan because you may not have enough, you have no revenue, or you don't have enough revenue to show that you've made so far while you've been building this credit. You may have to end up being a signer, but not really a personal guarantor with your personal credit, right? So that would include premium business credit cards. That means that's the 25K Capital One, and the no limit American Express, and all those different accounts that you can utilize for your business so that you don't have to worry about going in your own pocket to take care of those things. But we already know we have one business owner here, one business owner here. We don't mind me asking, do you have any immediate business goals right now for your business credit? Like, what are your immediate goals for your business?
Like I said, it's most at this point, mostly trying to identify my niche to like it, because it's mostly such that I can do lots of things. So it's mostly trying to tailor it down to what's really fun right now.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. So you're just trying to.
Yeah, check it out. I had a question though. So my business is in South Carolina.
Okay.
I just did a registration there. I was trying to do a little paperwork. It's kind of like I was also in the LLC there, right?
Right.
But then trying to open like a bank account here, I can't do that in Alabama. Why is that?
Did they give you a reason?
Nah, I didn't really get into it. It's mostly like an informal conversation. So we go there. Like once I had my EIN and everything, but I said South Carolina, they were iffy about me opening a bank account.
Right. Was it a major bank or was it like
It
one
was
of
Truist.
Truist Bank? I love Truist. That's a pretty good bank. Yeah, I love Truist. Have you tried any other banks like Chase? Okay, so the first thing I would do, I mean, they have their own guidelines, okay? Now, Truist is, we may feel like, they're not 100% nationwide. They're only in certain areas, right? Versus Chase Bank is nationwide. So you can go online with Chase, put in the information they need, and go by a local Chase. No matter if you're South Carolina or not, you can still open an account. But it all depends on what that particular institution is actually requesting. So Truist could possibly say, well, hey, we don't really have Truist that far out, or we don't have any in those areas, so go there and get on your own account. But Chase will be different. So you'll want to get a major bank. And then you also have online business institutions as well, where you can open an account with them also. You may not have a local location, but you'll still be able to start your banking that way. One thing about business, you don't have to have one account. You can have multiple accounts. Okay, so you can go to Chase, start with them, so have a local, and then go online and work with another as well.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
So you mentioned that words have like a revolving credit line, like a credit card, but you know too that typically when you apply for a credit card, you have like a period where you have 0 APR, and it goes from like 20% or 25%, whatever it is. And that's how they kind of go in line, because you forget that this card is now 25%, because you had it for like 7 years. So you make like a major purchase, last time or in heavy loans, very quickly you have like good credit. You think it's smart to apply for a credit card and have 0 APR and have like an 18-month period and do that?
You got it. That's the trick. That is the trick. It's not nothing against doing that. Literally, if you ask, well, he's asking. He opened up a credit card. They gave him a introductory APR, 0% for 18 months. So he can make purchases for 18 months and not have to pay any interest on his balances, right? Well, he reached the 18 months and now he's like, okay, I still have a balance and I don't want to pay this interest rate towards this balance. He could easily, by that time his credit should be doing well. So he can go and apply for another card and let that card take care of that balance and make sure that new card has a new introductory rate. That's the power of having good credit. You literally can maneuver how you want to maneuver in your own terms and save yourself money. Go right ahead.
Follow-up question. So often when that happens, because I'm not doing that all the time, when it happens though, because the new card probably gave you like a 5,000 credit limit, you spend 3,000 on there, maxed out 35% of the utilization, so then it ends up affecting your credit. The one smart move ends up coming back. You get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say it's a trick. What I would do is your game plan is good, but it didn't really benefit you because you opened up an account that was only 5,000. So while you was approaching that end of that period, it's time to figure out how can I set my credit up to where the next time I apply for something, it's gonna be a much larger credit limit. What can I do to make sure I have a much larger limit? And there's ways to do that. I will say it on here briefly, but there are ways for you to piggyback off of someone else's credit, i.e. you can be an authorized user on someone else's card, or you can add your own type of trade lines. I do offer trade lines as well, but trade lines onto your file. So when it's time to apply, they're gonna see that and they're going to offer you more than 5K. They're gonna offer you 10, 15K.
They often do, but it often comes at a time where it's already affected my credit. What I mean is, say I had 3,000, 4,000 balance I'm trying to pay off, and because the 18-month period has expired, I applied for another card. Typically, they would make that decision on the line of credit based on what I'm trying to transfer. Right? So if I'm trying to transfer 3,000, they're going to do 15,000. They're going to do like 5,000. That's the downside from my experience. I'm just trying to figure it out. So do I just call and say, hey, you need this credit line?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink. I got something for you, okay? I got something for you, all right? All right. We've already asked that question. All right, let's talk about what is OPM. This is my favorite part of this presentation because I get to talk about what I love the most. Not using your own money to move forward in your own goals, or whether it's for business or for whatever it may be, all right? But OPM stands for other people's money. The benefits of using other people's money to scale your business. Number one, leverage. Leverage would be more so, I'm still sitting on $25K in my savings account or my money market or whatever you may have. But I'm going to end up using, this loan here to go and get that building or start, renovating this new shop that I want to put my bakery in or whatever the case may be, right? Get my inventory, right, for your jewelry that you want to start as well. Same thing, but my money's still sitting. So if anyone wants to take my accounts, my money's still sitting there. You see what I'm saying? Number two, faster growth. You'll be more willing to not jump out there, but to go ahead and scale your business a little bit faster if you're not using your own hard-earned money. It takes a long time to save money sometimes, and you having to use that will definitely have you pause for quite some time before you make a move. Number three, risk mitigation. You're able to maneuver more with the money that you are able to go and seek out of other institutions and plan a good course of action with that money than you would probably with your own money as well, okay? And then number four, preservation of personal wealth. We already touched on that. No, I'm not pulling my money out. I'm not going to my 401k. It better be a die-hard emergency. Somebody's dying, okay? If not, I'm not doing it, okay? So I'm able to use other people's money versus using my own, okay? So you're preserving your retirement. You're preserving your safety net for your own life, okay? Personal and business does not go together. They're supposed to be separated, which is why you have a business name, an entity, and then you have your own personal name. And the number five, access to expertise and networks. So sometimes you may not go to an actual bank or a lender. You may come across someone who wants to invest in your idea, someone that actually wants to put money towards what you're doing and help you on a bigger scale. That will be where you have access to those type of people and those type of networks as well, all right? Leave a safety net for the business by not using all of your retirement savings or similar to scale a new or existing business. Funding options using credit. Business credit cards. We already discussed that. You definitely can go and get that 25K, Capital One card or that Chase bank card, or you can get that no limit American Express card. Number two, business lines of credit. Now, a line of credit, that's a revolving account, just like a credit card would be. A lot of times, a line of credit will be based upon what your business is worth, but that line of credit could be utilized to make some serious moves and give you a lot more time to pay back without it affecting your business score. Equipment financing. If you want to get a new refrigerator, new stove for your catering business, or you want to buy things for your bakery, or you want to get anything you may need to make the product, it doesn't matter. That's going to be one of the options you have for your business credit. Business loans, we also touched on that. Invoice financing. The invoice financing is where you are definitely able to get financing for your products or your inventory or whatever you may need for your business, and they will invoice you later, kind of like debt returns. Merchant cash advances, same thing as probably getting a loan, but with a higher interest rate. Small SBA loans. Now the SBA give out a lot of money for businesses, and they look at your personal credit, and they look at the whole file. And if that's not up to par, they will not approve your business for an SBA loan. And they give out a lot of money, a lot, and grants as well. And then of course, personal and business use, and the crowdfunding with credit cards. I'm not going to go too far into crowdfunding, but crowdfunding is a gold mine for someone that really is trying to have some type of safety net for their business. Leave your safety net for your business, for your retirement, and all that good stuff as well. All right, that is the end of me talking y'all to death. Do we have any questions about anything I talked about? I know what you want.
We need some cards. I need cards.
Okay, no problem.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Okay, when you were talking about keeping your business and your personal finances separate, okay, even like, okay, when you're filing your taxes for your business, is it wise to combine your personal and your business together to file, or should you do them separately?
Currently, just like this most recent tax year, the IRS is requesting that if you did not have any partnerships, no partners, only you are the sole proprietor of your DBA or your LLC, that you will file your personal and business together.
Okay.
But when it comes down to the actual revenue, like your personal income coming in from your job versus the income you get for your business, it should not go into one account. You should have one account for your personal and one account for your business. It will save you a lot, not because of the IRS. It will save you when it's time for you to say, you know what, I've been sitting on this for a minute, I'm ready. And you may be ready, but you've been putting all your money into your personal account, when all you have to do is put it over here, and they would have pulled those statements and approved you right off the bat. All right, any other questions? Sure.
So I'm just trying to manage my personal finances. I don't have any entrepreneurial aspirations.
Okay, no problem.
So I think I thought I was doing well. My credit score was doing good.
Mhm.
And then my utilization went up because I went on a trip, but I paid it back down, but my score dropped. So like now that my
That's a good question.
what can I do?
That's a good question.
I mean, it dropped like 60-something points.
Okay, that's a really good question. So let me talk about that. When I do my consultations, I talk about this a lot because no one really knows, for the most part, the difference between your due date and your bill drop date. Your bill drops on a certain day, but it's not due for another 15 days. If you know you have, I would say not maxed out, but you have went over 30% for your current revolving account, your credit card, you want to know what date does your bill end. That way you know to pay it at least the day before your bill ends. Because 48 hours after your bill ends, they will report to the credit reporting agency. But you may have 10 more days to pay it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's always two different dates. I have yet to see your due date and your bill drop date be the exact same day, because by law, they are required to give you notice and give you a certain amount of days to pay them. But they will definitely report 2 days, or I'll say 48 hours to 72 hours after your bill ends. You can go to your statement. You can go to the statement. It'll show you, okay, your statement start on 1/14, and then it ended on 2/12. But you look at your bill like, well, the bill not due until the 22nd. It's not due till the 25th.
Because it's like I was when I got the card, I was like, all right, just set my debit card and just pay everything off in the app as it comes through.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why can't I ever get caught up?
That is the reason. They do not educate us on realizing that if we do have an emergency, or we go on a trip, or hey, it's my birthday, I want to buy me something, I'll pay it back, my next paycheck. We don't know that we must look at the date that our bill ends and ensure we at least pay it down so that it won't hit us if it's over 30%. You hit 30 to 31%, the score is going to drop. It's going to drop down.
It's paid off. So how long will it take to rebound? It'll take like probably much longer for it to rebound because I paid it off.
Mhm.
Like I think I spent the money on the 4th to pay for the thing. Everybody had already gave me the money, so I had the money in my bank account.
Right.
So once I get my card, I just transferred the money over
Right,
right then.
right.
So like it's less than a week. So I guess the date is somewhere in there. But like, so how
Go home and look at
it.
them.
How do I bill it back?
Well, it's crazy how the score will drop so quickly, but it takes so long for it to go back up, right? And it lets you know it's a trick some kind of way. We gotta learn a trick, right? But what I would tell you is, if you've already paid it off or paid it down, if it's may be, it's gonna go up in the next few months. It will. The only way to, have you paid it down to zero, or you paid it?
I paid what I had spent off. Like it was
Okay.
like $2,000 and I spent that because it was like a deposit, like a main balance for a check deposit. But people had already paid me the money.
Yeah, I
so just
understand.
paid
100%.
it back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So do you know your current utilization now?
I have to check this.
I would say as long as you are under at 29% or below, I would say that your score will slowly creep its way back up. Most definitely. Absolutely not. No,
And
no,
then,
no.
like, would it be worth to having, I was thinking about getting, so this is my MX, I was thinking about getting a Southwest card and traveling a lot more, so I can use the perks. Would it be worth opening another card?
The only thing a new account does to your credit, it actually modifies your credit age. So the way I can say this is if you have other accounts you've had for years, it wouldn't hurt for you to open a new account. But if you were just starting building your credit with new accounts, your credit age would definitely be affected. But if you have like an account you've had for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever, one new account won't hurt. Now you may, if you see a little drop, it'll be maybe the maximum 5 points, but it'll go right back up the very next month. Okay, so don't be afraid to utilize your credit to do things you want to do. Just keep in mind on that utilization. And when the bill drop date,
I've been nervous because I had a credit card when I first like started grad school, and I had never had a late pay. I literally missed one payment after they
Right.
Regis closed my account, dropped my score like 4 like I'm like what
late, say it again, late payments. They do you dirty with that one late payment.
And then I paid it right back off like I think the next week, and I was like, why did they close my account?
Yeah.
One
A closed account. The late payment didn't do the whole thing. The late payment definitely dropped it, but that closed account. You went
Yeah,
from
that's when they closed my account. And I'm like, when that happened, I felt like 2014. I didn't open up another card until 2021 because I was so shook.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. So we went over that earlier, as far not that in particular, but we're giving more details now. But like I said before, when it comes down to having your overall length of different accounts you may have, she had a Regions credit card. So the credit score was calculating a good account, she had been paying, and everything was going good. Then her payment history was affected by one late payment. That dropped the score. Then the account was closed. So now everything had to recalculate. Late payment and one less positive account on the report. So she had a huge drop in the score. I would have been shook too. Shooketh. Okay, is that a word? Shooketh. I would have been shooketh as well.
Inmates that I've been doing good with, and that kind of scared me again, like, because I was thinking about getting another card, and I'm like, should I get another card? Should I not? Like, I'm nervous. I don't want to mess it up.
Right. And you could have called Regis and had them open the account back up. You could have. We're not educated on that either.
Yeah,
So
I called them and, I guess they wouldn't know how to. I don't even remember all back then. But
they don't have to offer, you must request.
yeah.
So when they open it back, is it going to be the same age as it was when we had it closed?
If it's the same account, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And she said it just happened. Like it wasn't like it was months later, you know.
4 years, all 3 dots, one yellow close.
I'm kind of surprised about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very surprised because one late payment went up. That's very interesting. I don't know about that. But so we can't go back now. It's been it's been 10 years. We can't go back now, but
But yeah, so I'm trying to be responsible with it now and build, buy houses and stuff like that.
okay.
So yeah, trying to be at least responsible and pay.
Okay, sounds good. Well, this is my phone number here. You guys can text me or call me. And also my email here, info@qdansllc.com. And you guys can email me. You can say, I didn't have any questions that night, but today I do. Let me see if I can reach out. I do offer consultations, but I also do a free 15-minute review of your business or personal credit file. We will definitely touch on what you have going on, and I'll give you some tips on, hey, do this right here. This is where we at, right? We'll move forward with that. All right.
How do you feel about trade lines?
I love trade lines. I love them. Let me tell you why I love trade
I guess my
lines.
little follow-up question would be, what would be the, recommended budget? Maybe nothing over 500, or between 500 and 1,000? What's the age that you would recommend? A credit limit that you would recommend?
Okay. So trade lines, like I said before, I love trade lines. So trade lines, people get scared of them, right? Should not be afraid. You can literally go from, I'm sitting on a 600, I need 80 more points, get to a 680, and add a trade line, and boom, you're at a 680, right? A month later, sometimes 15 days later, right?
I'm just about to ask you something about the time frame.
Right, so it should not take long for a trade line to report. The maximum is 45 days. And the only reason why I say that is because the same thing with the young lady right here. When it comes to the bill drop date, if you pay for a trade line after the bill has already dropped, you have to wait 30 days or 45 days for it to finally get reported onto your particular credit reports, right? So that would be the only reason why the maximum should be 45 days. It shouldn't be after that. Now, if you're in between the time, it may take a little bit longer, but not too many more days other than 45 days, okay? Maximum 50.
Sorry, you see what a trade line was? You see what a trade line?
I have a problem. I'm gonna finish her question. I'm gonna finish all her questions. She had like 3 questions in one. No problem. But to answer your question, I want to say there are 2 different types of trade lines. You probably know that, which is the primary and the AU, authorized user, right? Authorized user, I have nothing against them. They do work if you already have pretty good primaries yourself, okay? If you are looking to make a huge change, I would go for a primary account. The older the age, the better, okay? The larger the credit limit, the better. But of course, you have an older account with a larger credit limit, the price is gonna be up there. Now, I will tell you, before, people used to charge so much money for trade lines, but now you're able to get a combo pack of 2 or 3 of them for $1,500, $2,000. And you're thinking like $2,000 for some accounts to be added. Let me tell you something. You just adding those accounts would turn that $2,000 into $50,000 in a month and a half. So either you want to spend $2,000 or you want to wait a year or so to build your credit. If you got $2,000 and you're ready to get going right now, do it. Okay? A trade line is basically an account that you can add that is seasoned and it actually has history, payment history attached to it. It actually has a credit limit, or it has a overall installment amount listed that also shows a good amount of payment history that will be reported to help you build up your score. You can have your own, whereas you can say if you're rebuilding your credit, you can go and you can open up an account which will be primarily in your name, and you can pay on it for 6 months, and that will be considered a primary trade line on your account.
Where does the account originate? Like, you say it's an account that has.
Well, it depends. So you have like I have an affiliate, and he's a multi-millionaire. He's in real estate, and he has 45 different credit cards. He never uses them. He uses them maybe once a year to buy Christmas gifts. That's it. But he never uses them. He always pays them off like right after. They're always at a zero balance. So what he does is he owns them, but he has slots where he can put a person's name in that slot to name them an authorized user. They may not have a physical card, but they can piggyback off of how long he's had the account, how he's paid it on time for X amount of years, and the limit. So he'll go ahead and either he will charge you for, or he may not, it depends on, but he'll charge you for being in one of his slots. And he's one of the least expensive that I know. Like he's not out here he's out here just to help, but he does still charge a small fee. So you'll sit there for 2 or 3 months, and during those 2 or 3 months, if you're on their card, it should have boosted your score. Or you're on multiple cards, you should have boosted your score. And you should be able, at that time frame, while it's still there, go and apply for what you want. Go get that car with low interest rate. Go get that, home, that you're looking for. And go and get, that loan that you've been trying to get for a while now. Go do all that while that score is calculating those accounts. That trade line, plus your accounts as well.
But it's temporary.
Yes, it is.
So what happens when the account get removed from the account? Does it drop the score?
No. So the thing about trade lines is that they used to remove them, but now all they do is just change the status. So when it normally says authorized user, it'll just say it'll be blank. So that account will always still be there. It just won't be calculated anymore in the score. Right? But it'll still show up. You go on, log in your Credit Karma and say, you still have this account, this account, this account, but really you don't really have that account.
But when it's no longer being calculated into your score might go down.
The maximum 3 points. The maximum. Before, it used to be 10 points plus because they used to be deleted completely. But now they're still sitting there and they never go away.
So they count as credit history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Worth every penny. I tell those that come to me and say, hey, I really trying to get this warehouse, but I need something to help my score go up, 25 points. What can I do to get me up there? Add a trade line. And that goes for business as well. Now, business, you want to add larger trade lines, and they may cost much more because you are trying to get approved for $75,000, $100,000, $150,000 if you are, or you're trying to get, to maximize what you can. So you want to add the larger limits, like you want to get like a commercial property. And the same thing, it ain't just credit cards. You actually have people who own commercial property, or they own certain type of rental properties, and they can actually go in and say that you've been paying rent for, or a suite, and they'll put in, because they own it, and they'll report it to your credit report. And that way it'll also help you utilize and help you, build it up much quicker. Now you can take a year to build it if you want. That'll be your choice. But if you have a little extra cash or extra little money and you want to do it, do it. Don't be afraid. Now you want to choose the right people now. Choose the right people. And hey, if my grandmother, she's been in the 800s for a long time. Okay, 81 years old for a long time. And we have all piggybacked off of her good credit. And she don't like to have no balances. So we definitely go ahead and add me on, keep me in, as authorized user, just for a little while, and it has helped us all. Yes, ma'am.
My father's thing was, they're not gonna get rich off of my years. That was his thing, they're not gonna get rich off of my credit card.
Right.
Pay it off. Then we do it every month.
And I think that's a wonderful thing. Some people are just not able. That's why they said don't live, use credit responsibly. As I said before earlier, it's important to know why you're doing it. Now, if you are personally using your credit just for personal things, responsibility is very important. But when it comes to business, you take risk with business. With business, you actually are using this credit to expound, to make more money. So if you're thinking about going into business, or you're considering jumpstarting your business, don't treat it like your personal credit. Because if you treat it that way, you won't make any real money like you want to. You won't scale as fast as you would if you would just go ahead and just set it up right, get the funding, use that money solely to make more money. All right? Other people's money. All right? Anybody else? Any questions on the Zoom? I would say for the most part, student loans will affect your credit if it's not in good standing. And you notice there, I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are some people who pay on their student loans like clockwork, every month like clockwork. Then you have those who probably never made one payment. $10, that's all you get, right? Or $0 is all you get, right? They stay in deferment all the time, right? So as long as it's in good, not in default, in good standing, it should not affect you in any way as far as your credit is concerned. Keep that payment history up to par. Please keep up to par. That's very, very important. Anything else? We good? Do we have any questions on the Zoom call or no?
One last question.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
So getting another car will increase my overall balance. So say I get a new car, I might use it one time just to say I actively use it. But having that extra will bring my overall usage down, right?
Absolutely. The more available credit limits you have available to you, the lower utilization is.
Okay.
So on your credit file, the actual credit file itself, your score is going to be calculated under utilization the overall utilization of all your cards. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So long as you keep everyone under 30%, you should be good. You shouldn't see a big difference in your score.
So even if one might be a little bit higher, but my overall utilization is still under 30.
That is correct. That is correct. But I will tell you, because I'm in funding, I will tell you that when it goes to funding though, when they look at your overall and get ready to approve you for some type of money, they will be looking, not a car, I mean like actual cash money, like cash funding, you know. They will be looking at each individual card. So each individual card will need to be below 30%. It wasn't always that way, but lately, they be tripping and give us a hard time. It's so many of us opening up, businesses now. So they're like, no, yeah, we're gonna make it harder for y'all now, So yeah, so you're good. Go open that card, girl. Get you that Southwest card. Get you a Delta Sky. What's called a Delta Sky Club? Get you one of those Delta Sky Club cards too. Are we good?
We good?
Well, I enjoy you all. Thank you so much for being interactive, and I really appreciate it. This is fun. I want to come back and see you again.
All right. And next up, we have Takesha Mitchum, and she is from Merchant and Farmers Bank. She will be talking about banking as well. Hold on, let me pull her up. Stop sharing. Ms. Mitchum, I will give you the ability to share your screen. Oh, Ms. Mitchum, you were on computer, now you're just on phone, so I need you to join back on computer, so that way I can give you permission to share your screen. Yes, we're recording. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn the volume up. Okay, say that again. Ms. Mitchell, I didn't hear what you said before. Can you repeat?
This one? That's for me.
Hello. I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat, please? Or you could just type it in the chat. I'll check the chat.